Hello, my name is Alexandra Cotto, and this is a presentation on early intervention and adverse childhood experiences.
I am honored to be surrounded by people who are passionate about the well-being of children and think that diving a little deeper into the importance of early intervention and the positive impact it can have on the lives of children is a perfect way to spend our time together. Let's start by reviewing what ACEs are. ACEs are adverse childhood experiences. Adverse childhood experiences can include emotional abuse, emotional neglect, physical abuse, physical neglect, sexual abuse, poverty, loss, and hunger. Exposure to toxic stress in families, such as substance abuse, mental illness, incarceration, and divorce, are also considered adverse childhood experiences. Early intervention can reverse the harmful effects of ACEs on brain development. We recognize that negative experiences or trauma can have an impact on brain chemistry, but we do not always recognize that neuroplasticity allows positive experiences and early intervention to balance out, or in some cases, even reverse the harmful effects of adverse childhood experiences. Early detection can help children receive the support they need to become the best versions of themselves. In some cases, intervention will take place as early as in the hospital, just days after a baby is born, when a mother struggles to bond with her baby. Other interventions may occur after a child visits the nurse's office because of a stomachache. But unfortunately, there are many cases where children do not get the support they need until much later in life. That is why it is imperative that awareness and education around adverse childhood experiences and early intervention reach every adult in the lives of children, in order to detect when early intervention is necessary to give children the support they need to become the very best versions of themselves and the support they need to have the very best chance in life. This adverse childhood experience quiz is used to discover how many ACEs children have experienced to help determine their risk. Tools like this guide professionals and help them determine what steps need to be taken to support children. If you have a feeling that a child has experienced trauma at home, or are at risk of experiencing ACEs, this tool can assist in early detection and determine what type of early intervention is needed to support the child in their situation. If you are concerned about a child, you can ask them these questions and add up the number of yes answers. That number will be their ACEs score. The higher the number of ACEs a child has increases the likelihood of various problems in their future. It is important to understand that a high ACEs score might be a strong predictor of later health problems as an adult, but it is also important to understand that a child's risk is not a child's destiny, and early intervention can help children overcome the adversity they face. This quiz can help you understand what children are exposed to and determine if a child you're working with has experienced trauma or adversity. There are several variations of this quiz, so it is best to find a version that makes the most sense for the age group you are working with. It is important to utilize the tool and ask these questions in a safe and welcoming environment so children and families feel comfortable enough to provide honest answers. For example, if you are to ask a child these questions in front of their parent, who you suspect may be abusive, you most likely will not get honest feedback from the child because they might be worried about upsetting their parent and making their situation even worse. As you can see, ACEs without early intervention leads to repeating the cycle of ACEs, which can turn into a generational problem. However, when ACEs are met with protective factors and early intervention, children build resilience and have a better chance at leading healthy and stable lives as adults. Research tells us that early intervention improves outcomes for children and limits the risk of lasting effects derived from ACEs. There are strategies that can help a child feel safe after experiencing ACEs that can help minimize the negative impact. One of the most effective ways to help is to create stable relationships for children that encourage them to stay strong even when facing adversity. If the child's protective networks are strong, consistent, and knowledgeable, healthy development is possible even with the presence of adversity. If these systems are not strong before and after children endure adversity, the likelihood of developmental problems and other issues in the future is much greater for children. Early intervention is the best way to improve outcomes for children, and this intervention can take place in the embrace of a strong protective network. You may be wondering what role you can play in this. As a professional, it is important that we learn to recognize warning signs in child behavior and teach children coping skills that manage stress and increase resiliency. As professionals, we must familiarize ourselves with the healthiest ways children can deal with trauma in order to be comfortable teaching the techniques. Active coping is one of the most useful ways to deal with trauma. Children can cope actively by practicing anger management, reinforced relaxation, and check-ins with a positive adult figure. We can encourage children to share their story from their own perspective, allowing them to reclaim the power of their traumatic experience and turn it into strength that can guide them through their lives. Some things we can do as professionals is support children and families in any way we can. We spread knowledge and awareness around early intervention and adverse childhood experiences. We help provide accessibility to the knowledge around why these resources can have a positive impact on the development of children. We also help provide accessibility to resources that family and children need. These resources can include, but are not limited to, home visitations, training programs, violence prevention, social support, parent support, and teen pregnancy prevention programs, mental illness and substance abuse treatments, high-quality childcare, and income support for lower-income families. You may be wondering what early intervention looks like. But for every child and every situation, early intervention can be different. Some of the most important things to remember is creating a foundation of trust where children feel safe, secure, and supported, regardless of their situation. We must help children develop resiliency to help them discover how they can bounce back after being knocked down by hardships in life. We must help them build a strong community and build up that strong community around the child. This will give them the sense of belonging and the strong protective network that they need to overcome adversity. And finally, we must be their champion. It only takes one person to believe in a child to make a difference in their life. Resilience is a tool that helps us deal with hard times. This means that building resilience in children is always beneficial, but it is particularly important when children experience or are at risk of experiencing adversity. Resiliency can be the difference between overcoming hard times in life or falling into a cycle of negative outcomes. Even in the presence of severe adversity, resiliency and early intervention can help children overcome the obstacles in their way of successful development and relationships. Let's discuss some ways professionals can foster resiliency in children. We start with competence. Professionals can help children build an understanding of their skills. The next is confidence, where professionals help kids grow a belief and awareness of their abilities. Connection. Professionals help children make the connection with other children, people, and communities to strengthen their support system. Being that missing link between a child and a community can make all the difference. Character. We must help children understand what is right and wrong by teaching them moral values. Contribution. Giving children the chance to help others and see how rewarding it is, allowing them to feel more confident in asking others for help themselves. When children see what they contribute, they oftentimes feel more comfortable with being on the receiving end. Coping. Introducing different healthy coping strategies to help prevent children from turning to quick fixes that create unhealthy patterns. The last example is control. Allowing children to make their own decisions, to give them a sense of control and stability. If children are able to get the support they need, it can positively impact their chances for a successful future. If they do not get the support they need, the chances are high that they will fall into a cycle of adverse childhood experiences, and this risk can transcend to generations to come. Early intervention reduces the risk of incarceration, health problems, and mental illnesses. With the proper support and intervention, children are more likely to get a good education, health risks are decreased, and the possibility of breaking the cycle of ACEs is much more likely. Adverse childhood experiences can have lifelong effects on the health, well-being, and development of a child. The negative effects of ACEs can be combated with strong support systems and the skills to appropriately cope with life's challenges. Spreading awareness and education around the importance of early intervention and building resilience in children is one of the most important things professionals can do for children. Assessing adversity exposure plays a big role in identifying when children are at risk of developing issues later in life and understanding appropriate interventions that will make a positive impact on their lives. Every child and situation will be different, and some will require specialized plans. Regardless of the child or situation, fostering an environment that helps children build resilience can be beneficial in overcoming adversity and setting children up for success for years to come. I know some of you listening today enjoy reading, and I believe that one of the most interesting ways to learn is through reading. And I think it's safe to say that everyone here wants to further their understanding of how they can help children. We deepen our understanding and knowledge through hands-on experiences with children and families, but we can also learn through research and reading. I want to leave you with a gift today as a token of my appreciation for your noble work in the field of child development. Everyone here today will leave with a copy of The Deepest Well, a book written by Nadine Burke Harris. This book discusses healing and the long-term effects of childhood adversity. If you love this book as much as I do, please pass it on to someone else who shares your passion to help children. Thank you for allowing me to share my passion around helping children. But more importantly, thank you for sharing your passion around helping children with the world. Each and every one of you play an integral role in making a difference in this world as we come together and lift children higher by teaching them how to build resilience. I hope that something I said today resonates with you in a way that encourages you to be a champion for children, because even in the darkest moments, you can be the light they need to shine. Thank you.